Testing 1, 2. You guys hear me now? Can you hear me now? How about now? Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. That is strange. Testing 1, 2, 3. Sunday morning. Sunday morning. Oh, it works. Got it. Hey, Robin, what's up? Karen, what is up? Audio now. Cool. Kathy says, hear ya. Awesome. Loud and clear. What's up, Michael? Good to see you, man. All right, cool. We had a little bit of a glitch there, didn't we? And that's how you move on the fly, guys. That's how you become nimble. You got to figure that part out. And that was just random because I thought everything was as I left it. And I guess it wasn't. Everybody have a good 4th of July. Hopefully. Let me know what you guys did for 4th of July. Did you just stay home? Did you watch fireworks on TV this year? What did you do? I actually, yesterday, in the afternoon, we actually played some spike ball in the driveway. Just myself, my daughter, my son, and my wife. Played 2 rounds of Frisbee golf with my son. Took a few dips in the pool. Had a beer or 2. And what else did I do? And then we sat out by the pool and looked at fireworks that other people were lighting off. And that was it. That was my day. That was my night. It was pretty cool. Oh, Karen says family reunion. Nice. Awesome. All right. So, yes, it looks like we are up and running now. So that is good. All right. So, if you guys are tuning in and you didn't show up yesterday was a pretty good coffee talk. We actually dove into a live review of a digital funnel, and it was actually Karen's digital funnel, and was really good. So if you missed that coffee talk, you might want to go back in the archives and listen to that one. Also, I should probably say this, and depending on if you're watching this live or after the fact on the replay, we are opening Brand Creators Academy tomorrow, July 6th. So really excited about that. It's been about 3 months since we've opened and really excited to welcome in some new members. And yeah, I'm really, really excited about what we have planned moving forward. One of the things we have planned is a full email marketing mastery training, which is going to be coming up here, let's see, July 15th-ish. And then also we're going to be creating a digital product creation course training inside of Brand Creators Academy. So really excited about that. And not just to mention that we've got a lot of people that are building their brands and we're able to help them and watch them as they do that. So if you are thinking of joining, well, I'm going to tell you guys this right now because I won't be able to tell you tomorrow until after we open. We're opening at 9 a.m. Eastern time. If you are currently not in Brand Creators Academy and you are joining tomorrow, the first 10 people that enroll are going to get a one-on-one coaching call with me for 30 minutes. So that's number one. Number two is if you join tomorrow or within the first 24 hours, we're going to give you access to our Brand Accelerator Live 2019 recordings. That was our 2.5-day live event. We had great speakers, great training sessions, all about building your brand and accelerating the growth of your brand. So if you're interested in receiving either one of them, first one is the first 10 people are going to get that one-on-one coaching call. And then the anyone that does get in before the first 24 hours will get that bonus. After that, we'll just be open until Friday, which is July 10th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern time. And then we'll be closing again for another, well, probably about 3 months. So if you're interested in joining us, we'd love to have you. All right. So let's talk about this topic today that I wanted to drill into, because I always look at our Sundays, our Sunday little coffee talks to be kind of like setting us up for the week, right? Like what is going to kind of like reset us? Let's take a minute to reboot here and kind of get the mind right, like get our mindset right. And the one thing that I wanted to talk about today, because I think a lot of people, including myself at times, we don't look at the short and the long term. A lot of times we look at the short, but we don't look at the long term goals or the long-term payoff. Okay. And so the way that I look at it is you need both of them, right? The short term really keeps us motivated and then keeps us wanting to keep going to reach the long term, right? So what we need to do though is we need to identify those, and then we need to create some targets to reach these. All right. So I want to ask you guys that are here live, or if you're watching this later, you can drop it in the comments. Would love to hear your take on this. But do you have very clear and precise short and long-term goals? And I am talking more or less about your business or your brand right now. And the reason why I'm doing that is because the reason why you're building the brand most likely is because you want the reward of being able to have your own traffic that can generate into revenue. Like, let's just be honest, right? You are trying to create a brand that will allow you, yes, maybe you are creating something that will help impact more people. I know Karen that's on here right now, like she's creating resources for homeschoolers or teachers to better serve their students, right? So she is impacting kids and teachers, right? So she's making an impact there. But on the flip side, she's also doing it. She wants to make some money. Why does she want to make some money? So this way here, she can live the life that she wants to live, right? So the byproduct of the brand usually is the result of you being able to have something that brings in revenue. And then from there, you're able to do more of what really lights you up. And in this case, if Karen can make more money, that can take the pressure off of making money, and then she can focus just on how to help more people. Well, when you flip that, it becomes easier actually, because now you can pour more energy into helping more people. And guess what? When you help more people, people talk about you in a good way. And then that just brings more people into your world, right? And you're also helping people get a result. And I don't care if it's like you're helping people catch more bass, right? There's something there, right? There's something there that you're helping someone do that is going to make their day better or solve their problem, right? So what I want to know is, do you have a short and a long-term goal? And a long-term goal, by the way, could be a year out. A short term could be 30 days, could be 60 days, could be 90 days, but less than a year, right? You could have another part of your long term that could be, okay, in the next 3 years. I generally don't want to go past like a year and a half, 2 years, because things change. You know, do I want to have a grand vision? Maybe, but I know that things are going to change, right? So what I want to look at is like, what is the vehicle that's going to get me to achieve the result over here? And what is that result? And why do I want that result? Right? Because once you get there and you're like, okay, cool, I've got this revenue stream that's coming in, or streams that's coming in. Now, what am I going to do? Right? And for Karen, it's probably I'm going to do more of what I'm doing. I don't want to feel the pressure of having to do it, but I'm going to keep doing it because that's what I enjoy. Or you might be thinking, I'm going to build a brand so I can flip it and sell it, and then I can take that money and do something that I really love. Right? But you need the short and the long term. The short term is that constant thing that's like, okay, you just measured your results. Okay, so I'm using this as like exercise, let's say, right? So you measured your waist, right? You measured your waist, and you're like, if I can stick to this for 30 days and shave an inch off my waist, it's going to be awesome. But really, I want to lose 10 inches off my waist, right? Or I want to lose 100 pounds, or let's say 50 pounds. But right now I know that that's not realistic in 30 days. But if I can lose 10 pounds, then I'm on the right track, right? Or maybe it's 5 pounds, right? And so then we have something to measure, okay? And it also keeps us motivated. So if I was doing that and I said, okay, for 30 days, I'm going to do this thing, and then I'm going to measure, but first I'm going to measure, right? So where are you right now? What are you measuring against? That's the short term, right? And then from there, what you're going to find is when you do that short term, you get focused on the short term, it fuels you to keep going, right? And then from there, that will also lead to more questions to help you get to where you want to go. Okay. So I'm just going to look at the comments right now, and I want to hear if you guys have these short terms. Okay. Oh, Gio says, yes, I made it. All right, cool. Karen says more term than long term. Oh, more short term than long term. Right. Okay, so, and in thinking about that, your short term is getting you to the long term, but what is the long term? And how long out is the long term, Karen? That's the question I would be asking you. And then we have to reverse back, right? But like I said, I'll give you another example of this, right? We talked yesterday about building a digital product, okay? In creating the digital product, you can create it pretty quickly and you can run traffic to it, paid traffic pretty quickly too. So we can instantly see almost if this thing is going to work, right? But, okay, you have to be looking at how long am I willing to take someone that maybe opted in for something before they buy something, right? And so you have to look at that as a short term and a long term just on running a campaign. We may wait. I may wait. I'll give you, here's a perfect example. You may have grabbed this book 90 days ago. And let's say that I ran an ad and you pay and you bought it for $4.99. You bought this, right? But it's been 90 days. And maybe I spent let's say that I spent $10 to acquire someone that buys the book. You'd be like, Scott, you lost $5. Maybe not. Because now I'm able to say, okay, well, in 90 days, how many people joined Brand Creators Academy? Now I can go, oh, wait a minute. It took 90 days, but some people came in and bought. And now that offset my costs. And now maybe all these leads that are into Brand Creators Academy or just building a brand, those people now are on my email list or on a coffee talk or on YouTube, wherever. Maybe it's going to take them 120 days. Maybe it's going to take them till the next cycle, right? And I'm okay with that. But so many people are so short-minded where they're like, I got to put that dollar in and get that dollar back tomorrow. If I don't, it's not going to work. You can't, that's just the wrong mindset. Same thing with content. We've been creating content on a test brand inside of Brand Creators Academy as a case study, by the way. And we started with no traffic. It's been almost 9 months, and we're just starting to really see this thing pay off as far as traffic goes, right? There was 6 months in the beginning, trickle. But we knew the long term on that. Now, what can we do to kind of, and for me, it's easy to do that because I'm like, I understand that. But to a lot of people, maybe even yourself, you're like, well, Scott, but how do I turn that into money quicker? Okay, you can launch a product, put it up on Amazon, but still long term. Because what's going to happen there is you're going to find that you're going to buy a product, you're going to source it, you're going to sell it. And then the minute you sell it, you're going to be thinking to yourself, I got to buy more inventory. So now you're going to take that money, roll it back into inventory. You really can't pull any money yet. So you're going to have to ride that out for maybe 6 months, 8 months before you start drawing any cash, right? It's the same idea. Now, can we speed up that process? Maybe say, well, can we figure out a way to turn this digital funnel into something that if I put $1 in, I get $1.30 back. So I make 30 cents on my dollar, and I have something that they could buy later that could bring in $50, $100, $200. That's the way that we look at this, right? So, but so many people get caught up in the short-term thinking and not in the long-term thinking. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't have the short-term. You should. Those are your short-term targets that actually fuel you. Right. And they're like, oh, okay, I'm on to something. Like, I'll give you another example, like our Pinterest traffic training. You can pretty much get traffic within 30 to 60 days. And it's quicker than getting traffic on a blog post most of the time. Right. So that's a way for you to implement that sooner. And then that way there, it fuels you. You're like, oh, cool. I'm getting some traffic. All right. This is starting to work. Right. But if you have to wait 9 months, you're like, Scott, man, I got to get this thing going, right? So we need the short-term things that give us a result of some kind, right? It could be building an email list. You'd be like, all right, Scott, I don't want to do the content thing yet. I want to build the email list because I have a product and I want to get more people to buy it. And actually, this happened with Ty Linda, who's in Brand Creators Academy, by the way. She came in, already had a few products on Amazon. Her whole goal was to, yes, the long term was build content so she can bring in traffic that will lead over to her products, but also maybe open up affiliate offers that she could offer to her audience. But her first thing was, I'm going to build that email list so I can go ahead and start building up buzz and I can go ahead and sell more of my products. And that's exactly what she did. She built a list of over 10,000 people within 30 days. That's what she chose to do, right? That's kind of a short term, but also a long term, because now she's got that email list, and every time she has a promotion, guess what? She gets to tell people about it, right? So there's just different places where people are in their brand, but you got to come up with those short-term and long-term goals and targets. So let me know, guys, if you have any questions on this, any feedback, anything you guys want to add, drop it in the comments. Let's see here. Gio says short-term versus long-term varies for people. It does. And that's why it's important that you come up with your short-term and your long-term. And then what you got to do is you got to get real with yourself. You got to say, is this realistic? Am I expecting too much? Does this sound too good to be true? Because if it does, guess what? It probably is, right? You got to ask yourself those hard questions. And so what I would do, right? If you're thinking to yourself, well, Scott, how do I figure out this whole short-term versus long-term, or short-term and long-term? How do I do it? The first thing you need to do is sit down with a piece of paper, and you got to say to yourself, okay, what is it that I am trying to achieve? I'm trying to make $50,000 a year. That's what I'm trying to make. Okay. So I'm trying to make $50,000 a year. How do I reach that goal? Okay. So you're like, okay, can I do that in a year? Maybe, but what does that look like? Let's say that you're starting from scratch. What do I need to do this? Well, the long-term part would be like build up traffic using content, because it's going to pay off later, right? The short term might be like, okay, I want to go ahead and create a digital product that I can turn into a vehicle that will build my list and also bring people over to maybe buy products that I put in a PDF, right? Or as an affiliate, or, maybe it's just buying your digital products. Maybe you're going to create more digital products, right? And so what you need to do is go, okay, how much is $50,000 a month? And then how much is $50,000 a day? And then you say, okay, so if I make X every single day, I can get to 50,000. What's the road that's going to get me there? Well, if I build an email list through a digital lead magnet that leads to a digital product, I could probably get there a lot quicker, right? So maybe that's what I'm going to focus on. And I'm going to be building this thing in the background as far as content goes, because once I get that thing to 100,000 page views, I could probably make a couple grand a month. And if I make a couple grand a month, quick math here, what's that figure out to, right? We're talking $24,000, right? That's half of what you need to make. So then you got to make up the other part. How do you make up the other part? Well, let's figure that out, right? Like if I do a digital product here and I can lead people in and I can turn up my Facebook ads and they pay for themselves and I make 50 cents on the dollar, I just got to scale it up. But that comes down to validation. We got to make sure that our market has enough traffic, enough people, right? But you see where I'm going here, right? You got to know what that end result is for like your year out, right? And it's generally going to come around money, okay? And then from that money goal, we have to reverse it back and go, okay, how do I get there? What does it look like per month? What does it look like per day, right? And so again, quick math here. Let's see, $48,000 a year would be $4,000 a month. So that's $1,000 a week, right? Do $1,000 a week, that's $52,000 a year, okay? So there you go. Now you'd break that down per day, right? So $100 a day would be $700. So it's probably going to be looking like 120, 140, somewhere in that range, right? Doing some quick math here, right? So you got to figure out a way to profit $100 to $125 a day to get to that goal. You see what I just did there? So now we got to figure out that plan to get there, right? And to do it with the way that has long-term benefits and short-term benefits. So hopefully that made sense. Okay, let's see here. Karen says, I have a very concrete long-term goal. Every day I envision myself walking towards it. That's awesome. Great job, Karen. Gio, you always overestimate what you can do in a year, but underestimate what you can do in 10 years. That is true. That is true. But I do also believe in the whole 12-week, 1 year mindset. That's a book, by the way. It's where if you put a little bit of pressure on yourself to actually get stuff done, you'll get it done quicker. So I don't put something out that long that I want to achieve because I feel like then it'll take me that long, right? If I put, hey, in a year, I want to hit this, then I'm going to work my butt off to get there to that thing, right? But then you have to ask yourself, is that thing too aggressive, right? Is it too much? Is it realistic? And that's where we would go with that. Tato, I think it is it a good idea to prolong the short-term goal if you're facing unforeseen constraints? It's really hard without an example, but I would say you always want some short-term, and those short-term goals are really helping you start to stack towards the long-term goal. So the short-term could be just something as easy as, not as easy, but as simple as, I want to build my email list to 1,000 subscribers in the next 30 days. And you know that by doing that, that's also going to help you get to your long-term, but it's also going to allow you to probably speed up the process to get there, because there's things you can do now with the email list, right? James, what's up? Morning, late but here. You are here, and that's the most important part. All right. So guys, that was my thoughts here today. So what I want you to do, okay, I want you to do this if you haven't done it already, is again, take a piece of paper and sit down there and draw a little line, start, and maybe 12 months. What does that look like in 12 months? And then what I want you to do is I want you to have little milestones in there that is short-term, right? And then those are the milestones that you're going to be hitting to get to the 12-month mark, right? So that there will give you clarity, okay? And when you get that, you know what you're focusing on every single day, every single month, and that is what you are only focusing on. And this is where it comes into, like, you put the blinders on, nothing else matters. You're going there, right? That's the goal, right? And so when we do that, we can get the rewards of the short term. And it's not even rewards financially necessarily. It's the motivation to keep you going, right? It's so many people, they go at this thing 100 miles an hour in the first 30 days. And then it's like, pew. It's kind of like the gym at January 1st. It's packed. Everybody's in there. New resolution, going to get in shape this year. Yep, going to do it. Boom, boom, boom. And then all of a sudden, 3 weeks go by, few less people. 6 weeks go by, less people. 2 months, it's back to the way it used to be, right? We all have seen that. We've all probably fallen into that trap. I have, right? So I know that it happens. The key is, don't try to go too aggressive right out of the gate. Just be consistent and commit to that. So if you get clarity on that, you're going to be able to do that, and it's going to help you tremendously. So I would definitely recommend doing that. All right. And sometimes you need a group of people to help you with that. And if you don't have that group right now, go find that group, or find 2 people, or Brand Creators Academy. All right. I'm going to do a little promotion there for it. Why not? I believe in it. We have an amazing group of people, right? Willing to help you and keep you on track and keep you motivated when you don't feel motivated, but also give you really the steps to get out there and make it happen, and don't get distracted, right? That's what we preach in there. Like, just stick to the roadmap, stick to the plan. Okay. So, yes, if you want to be surrounded with people like on this coffee talk, or just people that will help you along the way and also have training to help you, then Brand Creators Academy. All right. So July 6th, tomorrow, we're opening the doors. We'd love to have you. If you like this stuff, this is just scratching the surface as far as what we do in there. We actually have a live call coming up this, I believe it's Wednesday. I'll have to look at my schedule. It's Wednesday or Thursday. And it's one of our virtual calls. So this one here is going to be face-to-face, and we're going to be doing a Zoom call. And this is our, we do 2 calls every single month. But a lot of times we figure on we figure out a way to help each other. So it's not just about me coming on or Chris coming on and being like, this is everything that you should do. There's some of that, but it's also being there where you can see other people are either having the same struggles, or they're further along, and you can be inspired and motivated, and you can ask them questions. Imagine sitting in a room of people that are building brands, and there's someone that's further ahead of you. And you're like, wow, I can ask that person how they're building their business. I can actually see exactly what they're doing. Or I can ask Scott and Chris to do a hot seat session and dive into either my market or someone else's market. I get to see all of that. So there's so many benefits to surround yourself with like-minded people. And I think Gio just said something here. This is a free mastermind session for those who hit their milestones in BCA. Yes. Do you do masterminds for people are working hard, but not at $250,000 yet? So let's see here. Do you do masterminds for people are working hard, but not at 250,000 yet? So Karen, are you asking if I do a mastermind? Is that it? I used to do a mastermind called the Inner Circle. And yes, you had to be over a certain threshold. The cool thing is we've kind of now brought that into BCA. And it's similar to our hot seat sessions that we've done. I've done I do Lakehouse Masterminds. And we did one here about 5 months ago. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I mean, Karen, honestly, the thing that and I'll be totally transparent with you guys. The Inner Circle thing, it was great. I didn't want the 12-month commitment. And I also found that I was finding it a struggle to not be able to then do my pop-up workshops or to do, it was spreading myself too thin. So what I decided to do is give a lot of what I do at these masterminds inside of BCA. So you get access to me directly. And you don't have to pay $25,000 a year. The other thing is I do want to do more Lakehouse Masterminds, and those currently right now are $4,500. So if you want to come in for 2 days, spend 2 days at my lake house, hang out and go over your business with just a few other businesses. So it's going to be only you and maybe 2-3 businesses. That's it. That's what that's for. Right now we're in quarantine. I'm not even going to advertise that because I'm not doing them right now. But I am thinking about doing one if this whole thing gets cleared up, probably September, October. And I'm really, really I'm kind of feeling withdrawals, to be honest with you. I love sitting in the room with people and going over their businesses. So yes, that is something we will be doing in the future. But right now I have somewhat closed down my high-end masterminds to really focus on BCA and also that we just can't do in-person retreats right now. Oh, okay. I see. Yes, I do, but I'm not at 250 yet. And that's okay. We do have workshops for that as well. So, but inside, I'm telling you right now, Karen, you're getting a lot of what we're going to be talking about, at an in-person thing, just by you being in BCA. So, but yes, to get a little bit more hands-on and we're kind of spending a whole day or two together, that would be something that you would probably, and that's one of your goals. Yeah. And that would be cool. And we would love to have you, Karen. So yes, but again, this whole coffee talk here is really about you getting focused on your short and long term and being okay with that. Okay. And not just being short-term minded. Okay. That's the big one. I'm trying to get you to not be short-term minded, but also know that you should have some short-term stuff in there to help motivate and inspire you to basically get to the level where you want to go. Okay. So with that all being said, guys, surround yourself with good people. Surround yourself with people that will help to motivate you, inspire you, and also give you a little bit of some, good old-fashioned real truth, right? Not going to sugarcoat things and be like, oh, I really think that your website looks great. And you're like, man, I don't really know. Our website doesn't look that good, man, but I don't want to tell them that. I don't want to hurt their feelings. It's not what we're about. I'm going to tell you how it is. So if I'm going to review your website, I'm going to tell you how it is nicely, but I'm going to say, I don't like this. I would change this. I mean, it's just like Karen. I mean, we did that yesterday with her. I looked at her homepage again and I go, you know what? I don't like the black text. I can't see it. I don't like the big image because it brings everything down the page. Fix it. Whether you do it or not, that's up to you. But it's about finding people that will actually give you real, honest feedback. Because that's the only way that it's going to help you. I'm not here to make you say everything you do is perfect, because it's not, and everything I do isn't perfect. That's why I have mentors that I like to go to and say, hey, what do you think about this? Right? So just think about it that way. Find people that will be honest with you, not just your family and friends, because family and friends will tell you, oh, I think you're great. Everything you do is perfect. You're my little Johnny, right? No, I don't want that. I want real. I want truth. I want feedback. All right. So that's exactly what we do inside of BCA. So anyway, guys, yeah, Karen says it's all starting to change. That's awesome. Love it. And you are on a great track, Karen. And the cool thing is, and anyone here that is on this call, whether it's live or even watching the replay, Karen is a perfect example of someone that was stuck. And Karen, I think you would vouch for this. You were stuck. She was at Brand Accelerator Live, the live event, and asked me that question about, or actually told me everything she was doing. And I said, time out. We don't need to do all this. We don't need to follow 10 different mentors. Pick one. Pick that strategy and go forward with it and just shut everything off for right now. And she did that. And already, if you look at the growth that Karen has had, Karen, that you've had is tremendous, because you're now focusing on the target and you're focusing on the goals, and you're surrounding yourself with these people that are also sharing the same beliefs and the same forward thinking. So it's just so powerful. And I think Karen is a great example. And I can't wait to see how, when we get into the digital product creation stuff, which you've kind of already did, Karen, but when we add that into BCA, which is coming down the pipeline here pretty soon, it's going to be amazing, because I think you are right on the cusp. And then once we get that figured out and dialed in, boom, we get to share it with everybody in BCA, but we also get to help you figure out that next piece. So anyway, guys, that is pretty much going to wrap this up. Yeah, so if you guys have any other questions, drop them in the comments. Tomorrow, I'll be showing back up here, 10 a.m. Eastern time. I will put it out there. Tomorrow, we will be talking really about building a brand from scratch, but we're going to be also talking about BCA, because tomorrow is the official open enrollment for Brand Creators Academy. So yes, that is what we are going to be doing tomorrow. So please join me. And if you are watching this and you are in BCA, join us. Let people know your thoughts on it. Let them know, what you're benefiting from being a member. And I would really appreciate that. So that would be awesome. All right, guys. So that's it. That's going to wrap it up. As always, take care, take action, have an awesome Sunday. And I'll see you right back here, 10 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. And that'll be July 6th. Take care, guys. Have an awesome day.